Hey, hey, can everyone hear me? Awesome. Let me connect my AirPods here. I don't know. Can someone say something so I can know if it's coming from my computer or from my AirPods?
Yeah, Mike.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, for some reason my AirPods aren't connecting. I'm gonna try to disconnect them and then connect them again. All right, I should be able to hear you guys now. Um, all right, I think we can actually get started here. Let me pull up Harrison's stuff.
Hey Mike, how are you?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Very good, very good. Did you change a place or something? Looks quite
No,
different.
no, it's same
Different
apartment as
angle.
always, man. I got a haircut. Maybe that's maybe
Maybe
that's
that's
what's
why.
throwing everything off here. Um,
Yeah,
all right.
Joe. So some background for these emails. So I'm running a 7 email sequence for a client as a test project, and basically the product is a book summary pack. So he picked 40 books on mental toughness, like the books by David Goggins, by Navy SEALs, by other some Tony Robbins book. So put it into a pack. It's selling pretty well, and this is a 7 email sequence. So from email 1 to email 7, I only picked 3 because maybe we can go through 2 if we have time.
Yeah. Are there any emails in specific you want me to focus in on, or any sort of
Mhm.
sticking points?
Yeah. So if you could look at email 1, which is this one, and the last one, which is I put into the sequence, which is email 4. Or specifically, I would like you to take a look at the flow and the CTA. I feel the CTA could be a lot stronger. And also make sure that they're not too long.
So the thing I actually worry about is that they won't get here. So I wonder if, well, how built out is the sales page right now?
It's 4 out of 10.
Or okay, cool. So really strong. So I think what
Yeah.
you'll basically want to do here is, I think everything you have up here is great. I don't know if it's needed for this sort of treatment, because the thing I worry about is, what if people get here and then they go, ask yourself how questions like, oh, I've already read Tony Robbins, click. So I think what
Well,
you do is you basically start down here and you say, hey, I've just studied and summarized 40 of the greatest books,
I'm not sure if
including,
the screen share froze or
did it? Hold
on
on, let
my
me,
side it's frozen. I'm not
all
sure if
right,
it's
I'm gonna stop sharing. and then share again.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, can you see that?
Just waiting.
What does it show now?
It says Micah start screen sharing.
And it doesn't show the thing? That's so weird.
No.
All right, here's what we'll do. We will stop sharing. I'm going to open this in Safari and see if Safari. Okay, can you see that?
I think it's loading.
Can
Seems
anyone
like
else
still
see
is,
it, or is it just?
Yeah, is it just me or? Nah, Ariba said it's 4.
I wonder what's going on. Does anyone have? Do I have any Zoom experts in the house?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe exit and enter again.
If I exit the call and join back in, are you guys will still be on here, right?
Well, maybe you can assign a host to me like temporarily.
Yeah.
And I'll assign it back to you when you join.
Cool. All right, you're host, dude.
Okay. Yep.
I'll be back.
Okay. Now it works.
Okay, great. Dude, I feel like this happens every time. I don't know. This is like a brand new computer. I opened it last week, so I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so the point I was trying to make is I actually think you start somewhere here. And the reason why is because I don't want people to be like, oh, I already read these, see you later.
Okay.
So I wonder if you go, the ability to endure pain for a long time, no matter what market you're in, there's a ton of stuff that we need to do. And as well as I do, the best way to do that is to learn from some of the greats, which is why I just spent the past year of my life jotting down 250 strategies, summarizing 40 of the greatest books ever written, example. And now I want to give it to you so that you can do all this cool stuff. And that way you get into the meat a little bit more, a little bit faster. And then if you really want to, you can move some of the specifics from each of these books into PS. Or
I
after
was thinking about
this frame.
What do you think if I just basically throw out the discount up front, and then just get away all the promotion? Here's what you do. They'll help you do this, and then, by the way, I'll just give you a sneak peek of what's inside the program. So 1, 2, 3. So even if they don't get to the end, they still get to the discount code.
Yeah, I think so. Anything after the link is just gravy, right? So I think you can do that if you want. The question we have to ask ourselves as marketers is like, what if this is the first sort of email in the sequence? Do we have to do any pre-selling beforehand? Like, do they know this offer exists?
Yeah, the business owner has run has run promotions for this offer multiple times, usually 3 or 4 times a year. So last time was, I would say announcement. I just got this promotion, and after that, just say give you a sneak peek 1, 2, 3.
Examples. and then if it's actually been run this much, you could probably have some testimonials, right?
Yeah, I put in the actual email number too, not this one, but it's got quite a few testimonials. Wait, did Mike froze or?
No, I'm reading. Sorry. So I chose for the string promotion.
I need to edit this part because I copied it from the sales page.
That's fine. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
The sales page is there to like help you, and you can use all that copy as fodder. So yeah, I think this is great. The only thing I would like play around with is maybe shortening some of the David Goggins stuff. And then if you have testimonials that you can also build out as mini stories like this.
Oh, okay.
That would be really cool.
Your screen.
Because then you can say, no way, dude, you're kidding, right?
Is
the
it
screen
for
share
other
froze?
people?
Is anyone else experiencing the same? Man, that's annoying. I'm sorry, guys. Here, I'll try to share one more time. I don't know what is going on. Anything?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing as last time. So we just.
All right, here's what we'll do. I'm gonna. Are you still host? Can you share screen?
No, I think you need to. Right now, you're still the host.
Okay, this is gonna be super annoying for everyone, but I'm gonna just whoever's turn it is, I'm gonna make them a host, and then you guys will have to screen share yourselves.
Okay, yeah.
All right, go ahead. Okay, scroll down. Yeah, so basically what I was saying is with David Goggins stuff, it'd be really cool to be like David Goggins, boom, boom, boom. And then you have a success story from one of the buyers who bought the mental toughness pack right under that. And you can even say, what do David Goggins and Frank from Arizona have in common? They're both mentally tough.
Yeah.
David Goggins.
I don't think I have a success story. just like testimonials. Like, this program is great. This program, I love these summaries. Like, these testimonials I have, but actual success story, I don't.
So far, success story, but any sort of testimonial, anything you can sort of use to connect David Goggins, who's this like godlike figure to these people, and a regular Joe Schmo, and say, what do they have in common? Mental toughness. And what's the fastest way to get mental toughness? Buying my shit.
Okay. Yeah, that one I have to plan it out a little bit more.
Yeah, but other than that, these are great, man.
Okay. What do you think about the CTA? Just one last thing. Do you think I need to?
I'm not a huge fan of codes in general, because it's just one extra step for them to sort of remember. So if you can just like eliminate that step, just adjust the price on the actual sales page, I would do that. But if it's not, if you absolutely can't, that's fine.
I'll suggest that to the client, because it's the first project we do together. I'm not sure how much influence I'll have.
Yeah. Well,
but also
I think the CTA is fine. It's literally just, if you want to know more, click here now. I think it's great. I think you have all the benefits in there. You have a hard deadline. It's clear. Click here now. Maybe not simply click on the link below, because that makes me think that there's something below it. So maybe click on this link or click here now.
Yeah. That makes sense. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So now, yeah, no worries. So make me host again, and then whoever's next, I'll make them host.
Yeah. I'm
sorry, guys.
Oh, I just gave it to the next guy. Who is it?
Okay, great. Yeah, just do that. Jose? It's like, remember in elementary school, did you guys ever do popcorn reading? Where you would like finish the paragraph and you go popcorn, and then you just choose someone else? It's like that.
All right, Jose's host now.
All right, there we go. How are you, Jose?
Yo. So, I guess it's the context, right? The big idea. Does that give you enough context?
Yeah. So, what's sort of the question? Do you want me to just sort of look at everything? Is there?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly the background story, because I think I sort of get when to like divert from the outline. I'm not exactly like sure.
Sure. Okay, can you scroll back up so I can read some of the context and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so cool.
Yeah, it started with a short like horror story, and then
Mm.
I removed the second part of the lead. Then this is where the background story starts.
Well, do you want me to look at the background story in specific, or we'll have to just make some modifications with the call, just so I can't scroll through your guys' docs. So if you can just hone in on one section, or if you have like an overarching question.
Yeah, so here like I have like a, you know, traditional like solutions or advice not working, right? And then also have another one right here. I don't know, just flows with the story better. I wasn't exactly sure if that was fine.
If having two sections on that is like too much.
I don't know. I'm just asking if that was fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you basically open with this horror story, right? And you do the classic, but like, I'm really glad it happened because, that changed my life and thousands of people just like you. And then I think you're right. You dive into who you are and alternative solutions that he sort of tried and used his or her story the entire time as like, like you said, yeah, I switched natural shampoos, all that stuff, nothing worked.
Yeah, and also right here, like I had some more copy here, but I thought it was like not relevant to the target market. It's like kind of like this copy right here.
I
I
think
don't
that
know.
is really relevant, man.
Yeah.
Especially in the skincare promo. I think this is what it's all about, actually.
Right.
It's
Okay.
like when you look good, you feel good. You're noticed for all the right reasons.
Gotcha. Thanks. And also had like a little bit of wrote a bit of a emotional copy after this one. Not really emotional, but it was like more about uncertainty about how he never got like feedback from modeling and acting and all that. So
Yeah, I
I
think you're
deleted
right
that
to
part.
delete that.
Yeah.
I think unless you can somehow tie it unless it moves the story forward, I don't think it's necessary. So I think you're spot on.
Yeah, and I also deleted like this part too about depression, and I think that goes with what you just said too.
Yeah, I mean, and look, I think it's an important little piece. I think you can say something like, I was already down in the dumps because I wasn't as successful as I thought I wanted to be at my age. So the way I looked only made things even worse. So you can still have that. I just think a condensed version.
Gotcha. Okay. And I think there's just one more thing. Yeah, I just had one quick question about like this kind of proof point to the unique mechanism of the problem. Like, would this be like fine for like a as a proof point, I guess?
So the only thing I'll sort of say is Yeah, I would remove fibroblasts, macrophages, all that stuff. Like we might know what that is, but in the context, even in the context of this like 4 or 5 line thing, there are so many quote unquote big words like angiogenesis, right? We know what that is, right? And you can leave the new blood vessel stuff is great. I just don't know if you need fibroblasts, macrophages, MMP, enzymes, collagen, angiogenesis, all in one. So is there a way that we can just simplify this?
Yeah, I mean, I defined what the MMP enzymes, I defined what that was. It's the unique mechanism of the problem, right?
Well, yeah,
and
so you'll
also
have to.
touched on collagen before that too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so yeah, that's why I commented to just change that to specialized cells.
Yeah, I mean, can you just say skin cells? Do they have to be specialized cells?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because the cool part about this sentence is the MMP enzymes, and you're just using the fibroblasts and macrophages as a vehicle to get to MMP.
Gotcha.
So you can literally just say, when you have acne, inflammation happens. That's a problem because your skin cells actually create these things called MMP enzymes to do so and so.
Gotcha. Okay. And then, so it's right here where the problem starts to happen.
Can you scroll down a little bit more?
Oh yeah, that I was gonna delete this part. It's
okay.
It's pretty bad.
So the only thing that I think is missing is you have to give me a reason for why MMP enzymes, why there are too many.
I know it's just like sometimes there's just too many like they're kind of erratic or go rogue. Like I had some.
Sure, they're just, we basically need something that's directly down there. But like, why are they out of control, right? Is it due to whatever? I'm just going to use random skincare stuff, right? Is it UV radiation? Is it hormonal shifts? Is it mental stress that's manifesting in your skin? We have to give something to be like, MMP is great, right? Which is what you say. But the problem is when they become, there's too many MMP proteins due to XYZ. So we need to figure out why. You need to give me as a reader why MMP ends up being proliferated so much. Because you literally said that right before that, it helps heal the skin. The problem is when you have too many of these little dudes because of age, because of hormonal shifts, because of UV radiation, because of whatever.
Gotcha. Okay. That's pretty much it.
Cool. Yeah, good work, man.
Thanks. So I make you host, right?
Yeah, make who the chat disappeared when I left the call and then got back on. So whoever's after you.
From what I see, it's Shannon Lynn.
No, I just joined, so you should let someone else who was here before me go.
I don't know if they private message you, Mike.
No, I think it's actually you, Shannon.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, so you joined right on time. So I'm gonna actually try one more time to share my screen. I hope it works. I'm sorry if it's not. Jose, can you make me host one more time?
Yeah.
Okay, how's that?
Yeah, I could see.
Okay, great. Yeah, before you were on the call, it would like show for 2 minutes and then it would just stop.
Got it.
So yeah, how are you? Fill me in. What's this all about?
Yeah, so I'm doing a test project for this client, and she has potentially a dead email list. We're not sure. She's never monetized before. And people are buying like crazy from her for her high ticket coaching program, but she kind of treated mail as a afterthought. I don't know what her leads are on her mail list, but this is a re-engagement sequence. First one to be sent to everybody, and then I'm hoping to sell them on a promo like later on in the sequence just to prove feasibility for hiring me.
Sure. Let me just go ahead and read through this. This is great. Yeah, the only thing I would add is, whenever you're re-engaging a list that you haven't talked to in a while, you'll want to basically give a little bit of reason for why that is, if it's possible, right? And who you are again. Like you basically have to reintroduce yourself.
Okay.
And that depends, right? I mean, how long have they neglected the list?
I actually think that they've been emailing, but not with like a focused target. She kind of does value based where it's like, oh, hey, today do this workout, today do that workout. But I don't know how the engagement is on that. So this one, I want to prompt a response so then maybe we can segment the list based on who responds to this.
Great. Yeah. So I would maybe change. Then you don't have to reintroduce yourself. When I heard re-engagement, I thought it was like a list we haven't mailed them for 3 months. But essentially what you'll do is you'll go, hi, first name, it's Sue. And then what you could do, this is like ninja shit, is you basically go, I've been busy working with everyone in, and then you basically name the high ticket program, and life's been crazy, but I also wanted to make sure that we got a chance to talk.
Okay.
Or something like that, right? And I think that's a little bit more personable than, hey, I wanted to talk to you even though you're not a buyer.
Got it. Got it.
This time of year is when I start to get flooded with hundreds of women who want to get fit for summer. So I wanted to ask you, what's the number one thing you think is holding you back? Or whatever, right? And then hit reply and let me know. And then depending on what her sort of gurudom is, you can say like, I promise I'll read and reply to every single one or whatever.
Okay.
And I actually don't think you need this.
Okay.
Because I think the goal, I mean, you can do this. Something to think about, because the goal is for them to reply. And I think this sort of makes me feel like I'm only replying so that I can get pitched.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. Every list is sort of different. So if you're constantly selling on this list, then have at it.
Yeah, they're not being monetized. Like I think this mailing list is kind of just an afterthought for her. So I want to prep them for like being engaged without pitching them something right away. But then I also want them to know that good things happen when they open and engage with the emails.
Got it. So then you can say, next week, I'll give you the juicy details on one of the most exciting things I've been working on this year.
Okay.
See how that's a little bit less alarming than I'm going to give you a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome. I think once you get them to reply, then you give them a video right away. I think that's great.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
And
I
you
wasn't
can
sure.
even swap this and the video. So let's start here, video here.
Hold on, Mike, can you, it's not showing what you're pointing at on your screen.
Again, okay. I'm sorry, guys. So let's here. Would you be able to share your screen?
Yeah, I can share.
All right, I'm gonna make you
Host
host.
disabled.
There you go. You're host now. You should be able
Okay.
to do it.
Awesome.
I don't know what is going on.
Okay, can you see?
Yeah, so right where you have, for now, let's start here. I'd literally say, for now, let's get started with a quick video or whatever. And then the actual video box. And then right below it, you have the explanation of it.
Okay.
I just think
This?
design-wise, yeah, the higher we can have the video, the better.
Okay, awesome.
And then, yeah, if you want to keep scrolling down, I can look at all the rest of the stuff.
What do you think about this PS thing?
I almost think if they're sort of a value-oriented list, I would probably, again, say something like the tips, the tricks, the whatever I give you. You won't find it on Instagram, Facebook, or anywhere else. I would do that I would rather do that than just read about discounts.
Okay.
But then again, I could be wrong. This is just my sort of gut feeling with all this. I think there's something really cool about it, it being exclusive and being part of the Cool Kids Club by opening up every email. But I think we have to stay congruent with what they're used to.
Okay.
So can you explain to me what the offer is here?
Yeah, it takes them to a ticket page where they can buy something to an event, and it's like $25. It's really low ticket. And it's basically like it's not about her high ticket coaching program. This is like an extra thing she does on the side, is help families talk about ways they can be pantry free in their home.
So the risk to you, I think, as a email copywriter here is we don't know how well the sales page is built out, right? So I wonder if your only goal here in terms of client management is just to get as many clicks as possible. And I wonder if you can actually take out all the stuff about talking to your kids and the fact that it takes 2 hours, because there's no way in hell you're going to get a family to sit down for 2 hours to look at a laptop screen.
Okay. Yeah.
So I wonder if you just say, do you struggle? Of course you do. How could you not? The world's insane and you have all these things that you're juggling. It's unfair. Worse yet, you feel bad about giving your kids food that they shouldn't be eating, but what are you supposed to do? Thankfully, I've cracked the code and I'd like to invite you to join me so I can walk you through it. Click here now.
Okay.
So you're basically concealing the fact that it's 2 hours, and you're concealing the fact that, because the way it's written right now, it says you have to bring the family, which getting them on the same page is a toughie in any sort of world or time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let the sales page handle that. And then if this clicks really well, but it doesn't sort of pan out, that's when you can go, to the client, like, oh, you know what? Like, that's crazy. Looks like the email is doing its job, but the sales page isn't. I think it would be a good call for me to rewrite it myself.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So, half of copywriting is literally creating work for yourself by convincing the client, being like, hey, see, this is broken. Why don't you let me fix it?
Okay. Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. So the thing I had planned in the rest of these emails is kind of like the sequence starting from this one as the first offer. And then in the second one, talking more about the mechanism and stuff. But then now that you're saying the click-through rate is the only thing that matters, I don't know.
Well, no. So in any, if this is sort of a launch scenario, right, of this invitation, right?
Yeah.
I think you're doing it right. I'm saying with the first few emails, if this is new, you literally just say, hey, it's tough. Here's this new thing that I found. Click here now. And then the second, third, fourth, fifth email, whatever you want, then you use those as ways to explain what's in it. I'm saying when you're just introducing this thing, just give me enough to click.
I see. Okay.
And then the
So
mechanism and stuff
yeah.
will follow in the
Got it.
subsequent emails.
Okay, got it. So this is the subsequent email. Oops, sorry.
No worries. Yeah, this is great. I'm glad you put in all the recipe stuff. Food porn, if you can have as many photos as you can, just to get their mouth watering, is sort of the key with all these recipes, right? And then I wonder, because the only thing that still jumps out at me is, man, you know, it's really tough to say you'll attend with your kids. So I think you can still say that, but right after you have to say, and no worries if the little kiddos don't want to sit and watch. Like you basically have to say, like, you can do it with them, but don't worry if it's nap time and you want to do it yourself.
Okay. Where would I say that?
So when you say that's what makes this event so special,
Mm-hmm.
you attend with your kids, your whole family walks away with recipe ideas, fun baking activities, new approach to being healthy together. And of course, I also understand that that's not always possible in today's climate.
Mm-hmm.
So don't you worry, because even if you just watch it yourself, you'll have everything you'll ever need to show them, blah, 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 blah.
Got it.
Yeah, and then these are great.
Okay, got it. And then I was going to do one last one with the urgency being like 7 days left or something. But
yeah, I think the urgency stuff is great. I wonder if you can send more than, if you're actually closing the discount, you can send even more on the last date, like 2 or 3. And then I wonder if there's actually this will create more work for you, but I think it'll be good, is you can, there are a ton of emails I would send in between the launch and the, and when you close it, I would send a bunch of emails with recipes.
okay. Yeah.
So you can send an email with, I don't know, I'm just going to use a random recipe, right? Like healthy s'mores, like that'll literally be the subject line. And then you can say, you know, healthy s'mores are great, but most of them suck because they're unhealthy, but I found a way to make them better. Click here now.
Okay. Yeah. She actually does have like a blueberry collagen recipe video.
That's great. Dude,
yeah.
People love shit like that.
Okay. What did you say right before I mentioned the blueberry collagen? Oh, wait, luckily I found a way to make it like not unhealthy.
Yeah, and a great sort of list for you to be on is paleo hacks. This is like their bread and butter, right? Which is like healthy chocolate cake.
Okay. Awesome. All right. And then the last one is like a value-based. I wasn't sure if I want to sell this here or like for a welcome sequence when there's actually a hot lead and we can pitch the real product.
I think I would like this would be 2 separate projects. I would
Okay.
basically finish the launch sequence, the re-engagement, reply, blah, blah, blah. And then this would be its own separate thing.
Okay, got it. Do you see anywhere in that sequence you just looked at for this email, or
Is this an email that sends them to the same invitation?
this one doesn't have any click through? It's just a value.
Yeah, so I mean, is there any way to connect it? Is there any way you could basically at the end be like, or scroll down a little bit more? At the end, be like, my passion is helping families achieve their greatest balance. And that's exactly why we've talked so much over the past couple of days about this new thing I have going on. Click here now.
Kind of. So the reason why I'm hesitant is because it actually does link to the Best of You program, which is her high ticket, and that is unrelated. So maybe it is better to just stop there, right? Leave this
Yeah,
one
so you
out.
can either stop there or you can use this contenty email in between day 1 and 5 or whatever, somewhere in the middle. Because what'll happen is all sort of launches have a U-shape sort of curve, right? You have a ton of sales on day 1 and then a ton of sales at the end. Partly because everything is so new on day 1 and 2, and then everything is driven by urgency and scarcity on the last days. So everything in between, sales are already going to be kind of low. So you can use those emails as opportunities to have some of this more longer form content.
Okay.
I would even recommend, if this is a traditional launch sequence, is having a Q&A email somewhere in there. And this is something as simple as like, over the past couple of days, we've talked about this, whatever the offer is, cool new thing. Everyone's going crazy. So much so, like, my email is stuffed it's bursting at the seams with questions from busy moms just like you. So today I'm going to go over them one by one. And then you basically just, every single question is an objection that then you answer and then link.
Sorry, then you answer the objection and then link,
and then link, and then you link it right after, right? So maybe the first question is like, I don't know, will it be recorded? Right, and then you go, yeah, of course it will. So like, even if you sign up and you can't make it, like, don't worry, you'll get the recordings. Click here now. Next question.
Got it. Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
And each question will be sent in from, someone, one of the customers or people thinking about it, right? Like, Mary from Arkansas asks, will it be recorded? I have a crazy schedule. I don't know if I can sit down for 2 hours. Oh, well, don't you worry, Mary. Like, me too. Aren't things crazy right now? OMG.
Yeah, and that makes
That's why I got you covered. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Sweet, good work.
Thank you, Mike. This was super helpful.
Of course. All right, if you can give whoever the next person is, if you could just make them host,
Okay,
so that they can. I think it might be Alec.
Yeah, Alec. Let me hover over your name. I'm not sure how to do this. Let me see. Participants.
You can also make me host again, and then I'll make him a host.
Okay. Actually, I'll just do it directly. Make host. Alec, there you go. Let me know if that went through.
Yeah, and I'll try. Share my screen.
Awesome.
You see what I see?
Yep,
Yes.
I see it.
So, Mike, what's going on, man?
How are you, man? How is Texas, aka Antarctica?
I just got power back last week, so on like Friday after not having it for 4 days. So happy to be done with that nightmare. I'm still like exhausted, not sleeping well, but we make.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
When I was on the call last week, I was literally at a hotel, so not the greatest. But anyways, I kind of put into practice all the things that you mentioned for the sales page. And specifically, like, I think adding, it was funny. So you told me basically the relating it back. So this part right here,
It was interesting because I got another piece of it reviewed by Stefan, and he has very similar feedback. And as I started adding these pieces in, the copy hit so much harder because it was like, oh shit, now I'm visualizing what this is actually like for me. And it's not just this removed story that is a great story, but not relevant to me.
Yeah, and I think this is sort of what you're picking up on is the difference between classic storytelling and copyright, right? Like you never want to, in copy, you never want to tell a story for story's sake. You're using the story as a vehicle to get the reader to get to the product.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think
so,
this is the best way to do it.
And yeah, so it just really added a lot. So the main thing that I wanted to look at now was this part right here, the state breaking exercise that we had talked about last week. And I basically took what you said and started kind of playing with it. And so basically right here in this notes part, I just summed up kind of like what it actually is that they're going to be doing, just to kind of give like that mental model of, okay, well, this is what it is. And so these were a couple other ideas that I came up with. And then I can rewrite the copy below to match up with that. But I wanted to get this kind of figured out and see if you had any ideas or kind of like how you look at it and start thinking about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Let me quickly. Yeah, this is great. I think it's a good sort of starting place. The thing that I think is missing for me is you need to take me into the body. Like you need to let me know what's happening every step of the way, right? It's through a mix of journaling and then writing out a correction. You see a one-page letter that identifies the blocks, uncovers the root, and then removes the whole problem from the ground up. See, in your body, you have, trying to think, because that's tough too, because you don't want to tell some macho guy that's like, hey man, you have emotion that's coming up the works.
I'd like to kind of keep it a little bit more blind too, which is why it's kind of like that one-page letter to reset your neural pathway, something like to that.
Yeah, that's the key. So you basically go, you know, it's a one-page technique or whatever that literally rewires your brain using the same science that's proven by Harvard, blah, 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 blah. And then you just take a bunch of stuff about neuroplasticity and throw it in there. Because I think that's what you're trying to get at, right? Is this idea of neuroplasticity.
Okay, perfect. That's literally what I need to kind of like finish this, and then it'll just be honing in. But this is kind of the only thing I have left that I like have been, it's been on my plate, but I'm like, no, this isn't right yet.
Well, dude, it's a really tough, because I think, you know, this product is inherently a little bit woo-woo, and it's tough to believe unless you feel it.
Yeah.
So I think it's tough to describe that in a macho way.
No, but I love that too, though. And I like the proof on the kind of that it literally rewires your brain using the same science that's been used at Harvard, the Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins.
Yeah, and then you literally have to, but you, the key is after you do the science stuff, you literally need to tell me exactly how it's happening, right? You see, inside the brain, you have 100 billion neurons that are firing all at once. How do they know where to fire? Well, no, I would do that in the mechanism, because you're revealing the mechanism now, right? Of this like science of neuroplasticity. So my next question as a reader is like, okay.
This is just the lead still. So basically, like,
oh, okay.
we've kind of gone into this, and I just wanted to remember how it was like we go through the whole thing, and I basically now said, hey, like you've been dealing with this stuff, you may have had the same thoughts as this person did, or at the very least have struggled with these things, but I want you to know this could be the last day you have to deal with them. Today I'm going to share with you this, as well as how to write a one-page letter that literally rewires your brain, using the same science that's been used by Harvard, blah, 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 blah. And that'll allow you to remove these boxes for good, as well as do things like go into the future pacing, then we go into testimonial.
Great. Just like it has. Yeah, that's great. I like that.
I think that the last thing that needs to be, so I'll do that, and then I just need to match up the unique mechanism with what I'm going to talk about here.
Exactly, right. So the lead is this weird art of telling the reader a bunch of stuff without actually telling them anything at all that moves them forward. And then once you pop out of the lead, that's when you go, remember when I mentioned that this is built upon science from some of our brightest minds at Harvard? Well, here's what I meant. Inside your brain, you have a blah, 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 blah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, very cool. Okay, awesome, man. Well, I'll probably do this and then finish the rest of that, and then maybe I'll send you the whole thing on one of these days, and if you want to read through it.
Yeah, man. Do you want me to take a look at the headlines, or?
The only thing, I'm probably just going to stick with this for now, with the quote underneath it, and then once I kind of have then fleshed out the whole things, I'm just going to start writing a bunch of them, and then I'll hand them over to Brent basically. But I want to be like done with the letter so we can start reading through it.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Cool, man.
All right. Who is next? Because I think does anyone else have a link or anything? I think Andre. Great. Yeah, if you can make Alec, if you can make Andre the host.
So how does it work? Should I open the link on my computer then and share the screen?
Yeah, sorry, man. I don't know what's going on.
Oh,
Everyone's telling me to restart my computer, but I want to just keep the call going. I'll restart it after.
Is that the laptop you just bought because your old one broke?
Right? How insane is this?
Yeah.
My old one broke last week, so I bought a new one, which, by the way, this is insane. Every Apple store in Los Angeles is closed.
Okay.
So I was like, so I had to go to like an Apple like reseller and like stand in line for 2 hours, it was just this whole thing. I was like, I'm so over technology. Okay, all right, you should be able to share your screen.
And your back is the host.
Cool, thanks, man.
Okay, now I just have to. I think this is. Are you seeing it? No, you're not seeing it yet. You seeing it now?
Yes.
Awesome. Should I like zoom in or something, or how is the readability?
No, that's great, man.
Yeah, okay. So very short, like this is a lead for Reiki info product that I literally just wrote like in the last couple of hours. So it may suck completely, but there's less chance to squeeze it in before copy Accelerator. So I thought, what the hell? And it's very short. It's like, you can see one page.
Great. And is this like getting them Reiki certified?
This is for sort of like a learn Reiki at home thing, and it's an existing sales letter. So I'm just trying to come up with a lead for them. Cool.
Well, before I start there, what does a sales letter look like now? Does it start with a story?
No, so it doesn't. It's like that's the thing. It's sort of like it has a headline, learn the system, blah blah blah, and then it starts with like sort of a dear friend. I used to have a lot of back pain, da 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 da, and like it's very sort of like it does go into a story for like 2 lines, but it has like a lot of throat clearing before.
Gotcha.
So, so this is not even my idea. This is Stefan's idea for like what it could have been, what could have been done to improve it, and then just
Gotcha.
run with it.
Cool. So, all right, how evil do you want to get? Because what you could do with the quote is really twist the knife and have her basically break down and say, "But Dad, you promised."
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, and then this is great. You go right back into like what the dad is feeling, which is guilt, shame, fear, pain, all sort of the darker emotions. It kept getting worse. And then right here where it says, and it kept getting worse, is what we sort of talked about with Alec, which is you basically want to orient the reader, right? Which is, and it keeps getting worse. And if you've dealt with back pain for any amount of time, you know
Right.
exactly how it doesn't just hurt you, it hurts your family. And then I got there. Okay, so basically what we want to do here is right after it, and it's so funny, I'm like pointing at my laptop as if you can see where my finger is. So if you go to where it says, so when one of my wife's girlfriends recommended me to go to a clinic.
Yeah.
So you basically want to have, you want to give me some color as to what that clinic is. And I don't know if you want to say Reiki right away. It depends on what the traffic source is. If they already know what Reiki.
Yeah, no, keep going.
No, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, I just want to say, like, yeah, I didn't mention that here because I was trying to keep it blind, at least like trying out as a.
Great. So you can basically say, I'm trying to think, because if it's the lead, we don't want to like give away too much, but I think you can basically say something like, I was desperate, I would try anything. My wife's girlfriend recommended me to go to a clinic, one that I've heard about before, but never wanted to give the time of day because so-and-so turns out is the best thing that's ever happened for me. Because that one clinic cured everything, whatever. You can't say cure, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then basically further down in the lead, after you pop out of the lead and you go back into the story, that's when you talk about the you getting on the table and lying down. Because that's giving away too much in the lead, I think. So you basically just say like, there was a new clinic. My wife begged me and she said that all these cool people were doing it and all this scientific stuff. And I was like, you know what? I didn't want to go, but I'm glad I did because it changed my life.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean, because that's actually also one of the problems with the existing letter, that it gives it away too fast as a solution. So yeah, I see. Okay. So then basically move that to the discovery story that comes after.
Exactly. Right. And that's when you go like, you know, my wife had to carry me in. I limped my way through the doctor's corridor, my teeth, my jaw basically about to explode from the amount of pressure.
That's good. Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. That's
cool. Yeah.
That's
good work.
Good. Thank you. Okay. So
what and now, then wait, last thing before I forget, the key in all of this is that you want to make sure that, see how his pain got in the way of his daughter. The key here is to, somewhere before you reveal the product, the key is to basically have the dad do a victory lap. So you basically have to have him somehow reconcile that relationship.
Okay, yeah.
And that could be something as simple as, you know, a week after I left the clinic, like everything was back to normal, blah, 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 blah. And that's when my daughter, whatever, I could sense she wanted to go out and play again. So I asked her after a while, she said no, but her mom finally convinced her. And that's when she finally saw me pain-free, hanging out, spending time. I felt great. We hugged, we embraced. Yay, I'm such a good dad. And now you can too, introduce offer.
Okay, yeah. So at the end of the introduction, or like the discovery story.
Yeah, right at the end. Because the discovery story is basically like, I tried all this stuff, none of this worked. I went to this clinic finally worked. And the proof that it's working is my daughter loves me again.
Yeah, right. Gotcha. Awesome, Mike. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Yeah, Peter, if you can share your screen.
Oh, show. 1 sec. There we go. Yeah, my junior wrote this pet sales page. Oh, get rid of this. Is the layout all right? You know.
Yeah, that's fine. I think this is sort of like a more e-commerce-y page.
Yeah, definitely.
Scroll all the way up. I just want to see sort of above the fold right now. Yeah, I think that's great. And that's actually what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I think the 3-step stuff is going to beat the control, because control doesn't have that right now.
Okay.
I think as long as you make this seem super easy, and then you have with the 3 steps, and then you basically explain to them, like you have here, what an ESA is.
Yeah.
That's sort of the key.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah, figured it was good. Just want to make sure.
Yeah, I wonder if you So you'll, I don't know this market as well as you or your junior do, so you'll have to talk to him or her, but are there any sort of, can we add any like even if regardless language somewhere here? You know, because when I think of an emotional support animal, I think of like a little chihuahua, like on a plane, right? And then, but I have seen people with like these big Great Danes. So I wonder if one of the objections is like, I'd love to have an emotional support animal, but there's no way my Rottweiler qualifies. So is there anything you can say somewhere in the copy that's like, no matter how big your pet is, no matter what, blah, 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 no matter, regardless, even if they can be approved?
Yeah, I think like this stuff with the laws, federal laws here might be able to work.
Yeah, maybe it's like allows you to travel with your pet regardless their size for free.
Yeah, make a note of that.
Just something like that.
Yeah.
And you can even have a little subhead underneath the main headline that says like, it doesn't matter how big your pet is. It doesn't matter if you've been rejected for certification before. Yeah, exactly. That's great. Size or breed. Just all that stuff, right? Because this is sort of an offer focused page. So you can say all the sales stuff right away. No preamble, no throat clearing, just, hey, here's this offer. It takes 3 steps, even if regardless, no matter what, click here.
Okay. Sweet.
Cool.
Thanks, dude.
Yep. All right. I think, and again, I appreciate everyone being patient with me. I don't know what's going on with my Zoom. Hopefully next week it'll sort of fix itself. But does anyone else have anything they want me to sort of look at, or any questions from anything I've sort of mentioned earlier in the call? Sweet. I will take that silence as a no. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for coming on the call. We'll try to get the recording up as soon as possible, and I'll probably see all of you guys in a couple of days at the event. So enjoy the rest of your guys' week, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, guys.